What up? I had to pop on. Probably the craziest time of the year, right? March Madness. You got the Sweet 16 this weekend. Before I get to some picks, I just want to kind of go off a little bit on a good kind of tangent. What in the hell is going on in the NFL? This is an unprecedented time right now. So as of today, it is Wednesday evening, March 23rd. I'm going to release this on our YouTube page and in social media for tomorrow, Thursday, which is the first day of the Sweet 16. Okay. Wow, the NFL. Since I've been on, so the last time I was on, I think I talked about how Calvin Ridley got suspended because he was gambling. Hey, man, I already went over what should have happened and why you shouldn't do that, but it's kind of hilarious too. Anyways, since then, everyone kind of needs to catch up. I know everyone knows already, but I haven't been on. So Tom Brady obviously came back. That was kind of nuts. And what's funny is if I were to tell you that Tom Brady coming back to the NFL was kind of like one of the smallest bits of news in regards to pro football, not a lot of you would agree with me. But in this last couple of weeks, I mean, as of today, Tyreek Hill got traded from the Kansas City Chiefs to the Miami Dolphins. Kind of crazy because in a matter of probably 38 minutes, you had Schefter, you had Rappaport, you had Tom Pelissero, you had all these guys in the NFL Network that were saying, yeah, this deal is all but done either between the Jets and the Dolphins. Now, obviously, we don't need to go into the logistics and cap space of the Kansas City Chiefs, but we already know that Patrick Mahomes' cap space or his cap hit was going to go up to like 37 million, and Tyreek Hill wanted to be paid. Okay, so well deserving. He is a special type of player, obviously speed. He completely opens up all parts of the field. What the Kansas City Chiefs got in return was crazy. Now, I haven't been on, so the AFC West is unreal. I mean, I could spend like 3 hours on each team, but I mean, right now, just staying on Kansas City, they made a move with Justin Reed coming at safety. Is Tyrann Mathieu going to come back? I'm not sure, but that's not even like the tip of the iceberg. And like, I'm trying to contain myself right now, and it's nuts because let's just go to my Chargers, right? So the Chargers got JC Jackson from the New England Patriots. They signed him to big money, traded for Khalil Mack, Sebastian Joseph Day. I mean, they signed Gerald Everett for tight end to help out Justin Herbert. So nuts. Oh my God. And then Russell Wilson is in the AFC West, ditches the Seahawks, Mr. Unlimited. He's no longer here. He is now on the Denver Broncos. He's going to team up with Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton. We're already seeing the workout videos. And then the Raiders, out of just nowhere, decided to kind of cast their poll out there and say, hey, you know what? Let's try to bid for Devontae Adams, who told Green Bay, hey, I don't want to play on the franchise tag, even though the Packers were willing to pay him a decent amount of money. Devontae Adams then goes to the Raiders and is going to team up with Derek Carr, his old college teammate. They played at Fresno State in the Mountain West together. They won, I think, the Las Vegas Bowl. They beat USC in 2013. Wow. Like, everyone's freaking out because on paper, the AFC West is probably the best we've seen in the last 50 years, at least on paper. And now that Tyreek Hill is gone, he's headed to Miami. Kansas City gets a surplus of picks. I know I'm all over the place. I know it's just, it's so nuts. That's just the AFC West. I mean, there's so many of these. Like Matt Ryan's an Indianapolis Colt. Deshaun Watson is a Cleveland Brown. Very mixed opinions on that, and I will leave that to you. I don't need to share mine, but he is on the Cleveland Browns. Odell Beckham wants to go back to Cleveland now, even though he's recovering from ACL surgery. Wow, like I gotta catch my breath. I've already mentioned Matt Ryan's at Indianapolis Colts. Baker Mayfield now wants to be traded. Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't been traded yet. What is going on? I just love the NFL so much. Spring training's back, so the labor stoppage is over. It lasted 99 days. I'm kind of just like riffing and catching up. I haven't talked to you guys in a while, even though you kind of already know what's going on. But for our subscribers and our followers and listeners, I really appreciate you. And now we are in the midst of March Madness. We have the Sweet 16. That's why I wanted to pop on. I was going to make just a little graphic, but I had to share a little of my thoughts because, wow, catch your breath. All right, so just quickly, and I can put out more analysis on this, but here are my picks for tomorrow. So you have Gonzaga, Arkansas, Michigan, Villanova, Texas Tech, Duke, Houston, Arizona, And then St. Peter's, that's the St. Peter's Peacocks, the Cocks. They took down the University of Kentucky. I mean, a 15 seed going down to a 2 seed going down to a 15 seed. Doug Eddert, he's the porn star, the porn stash guy. I can't grow a mustache like him. He now has a nil deal, the nil name, image, and likeness with Buffalo Wild Wings. I think Barstool got into it, so a little piece of the Doug Eddert pie. Does he get all those endorsements without that mustache? I'm not really sure, but he plays on Friday, so I will do a separate video and a separate graphic and other analysis for those picks. As for tomorrow, there's a couple of games that are really sticking out to me, and as I get closer to tip off, I might do 3. I'm for sure doing 2. So number 2 Duke versus number 3 Texas in regards to the seeding in the NCAA tournament. I mean, this is moving a lot. This was at 2 earlier today, and as we get closer, it's probably going to be a pick 'em, but the spread is 1 right now. You have Texas Tech on the money line at -110. You have Duke at -108. Coach K getting into a huge farewell season. Paolo Banchero is going to go. He's another top 5 pick that's going to go in the top or in the draft in June. You know, a lot of people are saying ride the Coach K. He already had all his ceremonies and farewells and everything. Even though before this tournament he hadn't won in a couple weeks, he's gone off the schneid. I think I'm going to go with Texas Tech. I like their aggressiveness. I like their length. And just given the fact that they have an average age of 22 years old across all the players on the roster, they've played together. Some guys have stuck around with COVID and stuff, getting that extra year. I think this might be farewell to Duke. So sorry. So right now at this point, just do the pick 'em. I want to do a money line -110. Take Texas Tech. Houston and Arizona. This is where it gets interesting. So Houston last week played Illinois. You had Kelvin Sampson and that whole, big play with the technical foul on the dunk. That's a separate story. You have Arizona. Okay. You have Ben Mathurin. You have Christian Coloco. You have Kerr Krista, who came back from that injury. I mean, they're literally the biggest team in the NCAA. They look like an NBA team. I mean, they average height's 6'5". Can you imagine being 6'5", being the small kid on the team? Kind of insane. Coloco, as I mentioned, and Ben Mathurin, probably going to be, again, probably top 10 picks. They had an amazing game against TCU. TCU had, I don't want to say the blueprint to defeat them, but definitely exposed a lot of it. But here's the thing. The athleticism, Dalen Terry for Arizona as well. This is another interesting line because I think it was at 4 at one point. Right now it's at 1.5. So this is going to fluctuate. And I feel like a lot of public money is going towards Houston, just given the experience of Kelvin Sampson being in the tournament, their head coach. I still like Arizona to win, and I picked them to win the national title. And it's not because I'm living in the state now. I stayed up plenty of nights where I shouldn't have watching their games, whether I was streaming on the Pac-12 network and it was just way past my bedtime. Yeah, there was a little bit of exposure due to the way TCU played, but I loved going into that game. They played in the Big 12. They played consensus number 1 overall teams in Baylor and Kansas. I think Arizona screws it together. They're the type of team where I think that might have been a really good wake-up call, and there could be 2 things that happen. One that completely unravels them, and that is the blueprint on how to beat a giant-sized NBA length team, or they really screw it on tight and they get it together. I'm going to pick Arizona to win straight up. -124, get it while it's early. Again, it's probably going to get a little pricier, maybe in the 140 range. They tip off tomorrow at 7. So those are kind of those are the games. You have Villanova and Michigan. I want to go Villanova because they seem to be the most consistent. They do it year in and year out. They won a title a couple of years ago. You have to trust Jay Wright. Michigan, it's a feel-good story, right? Kind of played shitty down the stretch. And then, you had the whole incident where Juwan Howard basically slapped Greg Gard, the Wisconsin head coach. I think I might lay the points with that. Consider that too. Nova -5. So again, I made this really brief. Wow, what a video. What I mean, there's so much going on. My brain can't handle it. There's baseball starting, and I'm happy that opening day is coming up and the Masters. And then obviously we're in the midst of March Madness, and NFL free agency is crazy. Please like, follow, and subscribe at wotmdaily. You can follow me at Will Galvez. Shout out to the boys at JP25 Media. Take a deep breath. It's a really good time of the year.